Love it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the testhim podcast.
Yeah.
Yes, baby.
We'll start jamming. Nicely faded out there, Ian.
Fade out.
Very good, Ian.
Welcome everyone. This is new for us. We're welcoming a 2024. This is the very start of a brand new year for us at testhim. We've got a little bit of exciting news. We're in a brand new studio that Ian and I have created for testhim, and this is our first episode with our
own studio.
With our own studio.
Our own studio.
Yeah.
Some harebrained idea a few months ago. Why don't we just build our own studio?
Why not?
Yeah, okay.
Why pay all this money for renting a space when we can have our own?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This episode is just going to be a good catch up, really, isn't it?
It's been a while.
Us three have not been together properly for a while. We've got so much that we've done in 2023 that we can talk about today. But
we haven't done testing 1.
we haven't. Have we?
No.
Let's rewind.
Testing
testhim 1.
Testing 2.
Testhim 3.
That's better.
There we
Good.
go. We can officially start now, can't we?
I feel settled now.
And we're officially on air.
On air.
How cool. For those that are listening via audio only, definitely go and follow our Instagram page and check out our new Instagram /podcast studio that we've got. We've got a wicked neon light behind us that I think we're all really excited about when we come up with the idea.
We were like little schoolboys when we opened that up just before Christmas. Like, whoa, look at that.
That's it. We've got a really cool blue hue to our little studio, and we're welcomed by a winner's trophy that I got this year, which I'm sure we'll talk about, and a bottle of Hatting Valley Wines champagne, which is all very nice.
Yeah.
But where should we kick off? Crikey, where do we start? 2023 was mental.
Yeah, I mean, I think this episode would just have a catch up, sort of talk 2023, and then obviously talk about what's coming 2024. Some big plans.
There is some big plans, isn't there?
Really exciting stuff.
All kicking off next week, but kicking off today, really, I suppose.
Yeah.
But 2023 was mad, wasn't it?
Where do we start?
Where do we start? I mean, because I've been planning some of this anyway, because next week I'm presenting at this conference we're at in Edinburgh, but by the time this goes out, it'll be last month.
Sure.
But I was thinking about, okay, well, what's happened over 2023? That's kind of the key sort of themes of my presentation. It's like, well, this time last year, I wasn't even working for testhim full time.
No.
It wasn't until March last year, March 2023, I switched over to testhim full time. It's like, it's absolutely bonkers.
It is.
We've done so much. Like, kind of social media growth has been huge. A lot of engagement on social media. We've had over 200% growth on our Insta followers. So keep it up, everyone. Please share us. Please
keep
share.
sharing.
Yeah, I really appreciate it.
Tag us, DM us, whatever. 200% growth on our portal use.
Yeah.
Over 800 men have now been through our free portal.
That's insane, isn't
That
it?
is
That's so
amazing.
cool.
Since I mean, it's 18 months old since we've launched it at a fertility show.
Yeah.
To get all those patients through is amazing, and we've already had some really good feedback from some of the people that have gone through that portal. So keep having a look out for the portal and keep registering and see what your risk assessment is.
Yeah, it's just mad. It's just mad we've grown that much in like what has seemed like a long time, but actually quite a short space of time.
Yeah.
Our mission has always been tackling fertility together and kind of just helping guys be empowered about their own fertility journeys. And when we created the portal and come up with the idea that that was very much the foundation of what we were trying to do. And to know that people now are registering on that portal, they're following us on social media where we're kind of updating about information in the fertility space and talking male factor fertility. We're genuinely helping guys out, and it's really, really magical. Like in the inbox, we've been getting messages from people that have had good success from it. And it makes me genuinely emotional thinking that actually we're making such a difference to people's lives, and knowing that so many men that have kind of come through our portal and through our kind of treatment options that quite frankly were kind of ignored for quite some time, and they've actually discovered some issues that they've managed to improve and then have like good results at the end of it. We've been around long enough now that we've got babies on the planet.
Testing
We
babies.
have. We've seen scans. We've seen,
it's
really
bonkers.
good success, and we've had all the testimonials that we've had have just been absolutely amazing, which is just fab.
I think that was one that's, for me, reflecting on 2023 to prepare for this presentation was, and I said it to you guys throughout the year, is like, people are coming to us for advice and guidance now. And like the number of emails and messages we get, it's like, where do I go for this? What do I do about? How do I get that test done? What supplements should I take? It's like, it feels like we've become a bit of a trusted voice in the male fertility space and the go-to kind of channel for that. And and the other thing is like the number of platforms that we've spoken on as well. Like you went and did a presentation at NatWest.
Yeah, that's cool.
You've spoken on some different kind of webinars. I did a webinar for European Fertility Society and so many others.
Yeah.
It's like, Wow, cool.
Yeah, we're often getting emails and saying, "Can you come and talk about this and talk about that?" And you're going like, "Well, this has never happened before." But I think it's just all the recognition of the good work that we've been doing over the last 12 months, if not longer.
We're starting to sound really arrogant here. Just
Hey,
listen to this podcast, this episode. We're just talking about how great we are.
No, but I think it's testament, isn't it, to how much fun we're having as well? Because we wouldn't do it if we weren't having fun. But we're having fun, but we're helping so many good people out there, really, just to work out what's going on.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of our message, really, isn't it? We're talking about a topic that is, quite a difficult one to talk about amongst men. There's still a taboo and a stigma associated with male factor fertility. But I think the three of us, we just want to kind of lighten that topic up a little bit, and having fun along the way is kind of part of our motto, isn't it? That we want to make sure that we make this topic as easy as we can to talk about, so that if people do want to come and reach out to us, they can feel like we're just one of them, and that we're here, that we've got an arm around them, and we can just, it's like a little brotherhood that we're kind of trying to create, isn't it?
It is.
And that's really kind of like quite a key part of our ethos, is just making sure that people feel comfortable, because it's still a bit weird talking about balls, testicles, sperm, and people get itchy about it.
It's normal for us.
For us, it is.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, let's talk about sperm, ejaculation, masturbation, sex, whatever. It's just like, okay, normal conversation.
Yeah.
But for others, they're like, oh, I don't normally talk about this. It's
It's a bit scary for some people, isn't it, still? So, and it will continue to be so. But we've had so much fun with some of the podcasts that we've done. How many amazing guests did we have last year?
The first year of podcast. Oh,
amazing.
That was amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah, we've had some blinding guests, haven't we, last year? I mean, for me, my standouts has got to be Jonathan Ramsey, just because I admire and love that man so much, purely because of my diagnosis that he gave me. And I think a big shout out has to go to our Thor.
Oh,
he's
he's hilarious.
He's a dude, that guy.
That was amazing, wasn't it? It was such a laugh, that episode. Absolutely brilliant.
He's now my Instagram cherries friend, as we call each other, because we were talking about how we've both had our cherries measured by the Jonathan Ramsey. But
literally cupping my balls.
That's it. Pause.
Yeah.
No, that's good. Yeah, if you haven't heard that episode, go back and check it out. It's one. I think it was our longest one of last year. But,
I think so.
Oh, it's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, Jonathan was good. I mean, all the guests were fantastic.
Everyone's been amazing.
Yeah. Mel Brown was brilliant, wasn't she? In terms of looking at nutrition and the impact that has on male health and so forth. And Laura, she was fab as well. Yeah, she was absolutely brilliant for looking at her experience of couples that have come in to see her in various clinics and what she's trying to do now. Through Peppy Health. So, it's been fab having these really brilliant guests.
And then we had, obviously, Stephen Moser will be coming on the podcast. He's very keen to join us in here, and that'll be absolutely awesome. Your surgeon.
My surgeon,
But we did an Insta Live with him, didn't we? And that was part of Fertility Awareness Week. Did 4 Insta Lives that week, and we then did the live webinar with Jonathan Ramsey. Again, that's on YouTube, and obviously the Insta Lives on Instagram.
Yeah.
But that was quite a mental week, that. I didn't realise how exhausting running 4 Insta Lives.
I don't know how you did it. I really don't know how you did it. It was
the
it
brain
was amazing.
capacity for that was quite something. But they were really good. And I loved that interview with Stephen. That was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it's really cool. And I'm a massive foodie, and I know he is as well, with his special pizzas that he does. Still looking forward to visiting him at some point to have one of his pizzas. But we're just really grateful for the guests that have come on and shared their experiences and their time with us. Because without them, really, we don't. That helps us give us an insight to the people that you guys are tuning in. And we're so grateful to have some wonderful people join us, I guess.
So let us know, those lovely listeners out there. Let us know what you want to hear. What do you want us to cover this? Who do you want to hear from? Which guest do you want to get in?
Yeah. Do we need the sperm engineer back again?
I'd love the sperm engiengineer. I thought Cheryl was absolutely awesome.
She was brilliant, wasn't she? So I'm sure she's keen to come back and have another.
Have another crack at it.
Have another crack at the nut.
Oh, hang on a minute.
Hold up. Have we got a sound?
Oh, it didn't work. I didn't have sound up.
Go again.
Was that one?
I don't know.
Is that the one?
Pick another one, see what happens.
So for those that aren't watching, on the mixing desk, we've got some little buttons that do different
new mixing
things.
decks as well.
Yeah. So, what this?
There we go. The pun noise. We're full of puns on this podcast, aren't we? We should do like a highlights reel of all the puns that we've made, because there's many of them. But that'll be.
That's a lot of editing as well. Yeah,
there's a lot of editing.
And of course we've got some nice sort of
silverware.
That's I was going to say furniture. I don't know what to say.
It's a bit of everything, I think, isn't it?
Silverware, and
a big cup on the desk, and a nice bottle of something.
Yeah.
So
motorsport's been an interesting year, hasn't it? That's for sure.
Yeah. What did you get up to? Anything nice?
Well, another year in the Porsche Cayman Sprint Challenge. It's been, to be honest, it's been the most challenging, the most rewardable, and probably the toughest time I've had in motorsport this season. I've kind of done everything that I possibly could do in a season. I've done in 6 race weekends or 5 race weekends, I think it was. I started off the year with one of these trophies, which was my very, very first Porsche Pro race win, which, saying that out loud, I just have to pinch myself. You know, a few years ago, to say that I'd professionally win an outright race in a Porsche, I'd look at someone and laugh them in the face that was a possibility. But here we are, sat as a Porsche Pro winner, which is insane. I was looking really strong to contend for the title. We made some really good adjustments for the season, and the car felt incredible. I felt good. I was fitter than ever. And the performance was really good until we kind of like started having a little bit of a downward spiral, which was a bit annoying, bit of bad luck. But I guess to recap, I finished the season at 130 mile an hour into a concrete wall, which was obviously not planned, not part of the plan. No. But that was a season-ending crash for us, wasn't it? Which was really, really difficult. And I've gone through quite a difficult recovery. It's been a long couple of months of recovery. I mean, I'm absolutely fine now, which is, you know, great, and the car saved my life. But it was such a shame because I was right in the title fight to win a Porsche championship, and obviously that's been
so eager, weren't you?
Yeah, we were ready to do it. It felt like the right time. But motorsport's full of ups and downs and challenges, and actually, metaphorically, to, you know, a guy or a couple's fertility journey is very much the same thing. Things can be going absolutely really well, and then suddenly you can hit a wall, and nothing, you know, suddenly it all stops and falls down, and maybe that's kind of like fate that's happened to kind of tell that story, because it's all about overcoming challenges, isn't it, and overcoming difficulties.
That's a fertility journey all over, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. And what I can say from last race season is that I always kind of wondered how I would feel if I hit a wall or had a crash. Obviously, it's a fear of, you know, it's a fear of every driver. I think if a driver says they don't fear that, I think they're lying, because there has to be some fear to prevent you from ending up there in the first place. I always wondered how I'd feel about, would I want to race again? You know, I've got a family now. Would I, you know, how will I keep this campaign alive? But I literally hit the wall, and I was in the medical centre at Silverstone, and I said to the guys, I know my car's not good, but I really want to race. And they looked at me and laughed. I mean, I was in a lot of pain, but I genuinely really wanted to race. I wanted to get straight back out there. And I've just, ever since, I've just had this massive yearn just to get back out there competing. And it's partly because I get like an escapism from racing, and that's kind of why I started racing in the first place. It's just a pure escapism for me. But I've realised from the accident just how influential I've become in the space of motorsport and with the facility sector that the racing campaign has made. And so I just feel so driven and determined just to keep that alive, because next season will be season 5 of Racing for Fertility. We're not yet confirmed for the grid, but I'm working very hard to try and make that a possibility. And season 5 would be epic if we can make that into
it's going to be awesome,
a wicked story. So watch this space, everyone. I'll be updating everyone through this podcast and through my social media channels. But fingers crossed we can be back out there fighting for it.
Yeah, definitely. What went through your mind as you hurtled towards that wall at 130 miles an hour? Did it happen in slow motion?
Yeah, it was just like fuck. Like literally.
I haven't got a button for that. Hang on.
Expletive.
Excuse the expletive, but there's just no other way to describe it. You know, 130 mile an hour facing a wall. I mean, you get used to the speed of a race car, and 130 mile an hour doesn't feel fast to me at all now. It feels very steady, and, you know, feel quite comfortable at that speed. But everyone says you realise when you're going fast when you suddenly stop. And I didn't realise just how much energy and inertia was in an impact like that. My friends joke, because I'm now called 53G. So just to put things into context, so Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton had a crash at Silverstone back in 2021, I think.
Same corner as well, wasn't it?
Same corner, same kind of conditions. Max Verstappen got hurtled off, and he went into the wall very hard. It made national news. It was a massive crash. It could have killed him, etc. His was 51G, which obviously is a massive crash.
Wow.
But I've topped it. I've trumped him.
Oh, well done.
I've hit the concrete wall.
It's not an accolade you really want,
not, is
really.
it?
No. Might as well claim it.
But yeah.
Have you written to Max? Let me know.
I haven't yet.
I'm the new G champion.
Yeah, I'm the G champion. Yeah, 51 watt. But I hit a 53 G impact, which is enormous. So I weigh 70 kilos, and at the point that I hit the wall, the measurement of my body weight at that point, due to the impact of the force, was something like 3,600 kilos. My body weight was.
Oh my God.
So as you can imagine, I was pretty purple, pretty much where there was a strap.
Holding you in.
And where is one of the key straps?
Down in the groin.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit unpleasant. I was
just in case your testicles haven't had enough kind of attention
over
over the last few
2
years.
or something.
Yeah, they were. I've never seen a shade of purple like that before. That's all I can say. It was pretty enormous. But honestly, it was such a weird experience because I remember seeing this wall and it was coming towards me, and I had no way of correcting it. There was just like it was impossible to actually get out of that situation. It was a wet silverstone, it hit the grass, and you're just a passenger. But I remember this like pop, this almighty pop. It was like almost like a bag of crisps popping. It was really bizarre, and then that was it.
Right.
I was out. I don't remember much from that other than sort of waking up in the mist of my radiator blowing in my face and a marshal screaming into me. But it was like, if you've ever seen movies of like car crashes, you hear all that like, it was kind of like I could hear like this muted noise. I couldn't feel my legs for a while, and the minute I did feel my legs, I passed out in pain, and then I woke up again, couldn't feel my legs, and passed out in pain. And it was like a cycle for I don't know how long I was in that car for.
Not very long. You
Not
got
very
out
long.
Very
felt
No,
like
'cause we saw
forever.
you jump out.
Yeah.
To a big cheer, but
Yeah, because that's it. You decided to do that right in front of the grandstand where all your friends and family were.
Yep,
We're
all the
sat
Bubble
there.
Army
Yeah.
and everybody that's supporting you.
Yeah, I think it's probably worse for you guys watching it. I mean,
It
It
was-
was horrendous.
yeah. Proper
you
stomach
can't,
turning.
You can't describe it. You know, as witnessing that type of accident, it was your heart just dropped out of you.
yeah.
Yeah, don't do it again, mate.
No.
Don't do it.
But I guess I can say I'm genuinely risking my life to raise awareness for fertility. So
Absolutely. Well, you did. You showed
is that,
them. You
is
know.
that a good thing or not? I'm not sure. But
Yeah.
but you know, I'm keen to keep that campaign live, and I'm really proud of this trophy that we've got a couple of them. We've got several trophies, which is
we've got one
great.
behind you as well.
Another third place trophy at the top there, and yeah, it's been an amazing season, hasn't it? It's been an amazing time, and fingers.
So
crossed
let's
going
hope,
forward.
obviously, you got to secure some sponsorship for this year. Let's hope, like behind me, we've got the little box unit. Let's see if we can add some trophies to it throughout the year.
Sounds like a good challenge.
Be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
That would be excellent. wouldn't it?
It's our trophy cabinet is growing. Yeah,
So each episode, those that are watching the video have got to spot the difference.
spot the difference.
Yeah.
Happy
Plenty
days.
of room on the top there.
That's it.
Yeah.
And what's 2024 got in store for the fertility world, do we think?
Oh, it's mad, isn't it? It really is mad. So, at the back end of last year, what was really, really fantastic was that we were able to do a soft launch of our DNA fragmentation service. So we got asked by TDL, which is one of our partners. It's the doctor's laboratory. It's one of the largest pathology referral pathways in the UK for clinics. And they asked us to switch over to our DNA fragmentation service, which was absolutely phenomenal. It was my dream last year to make it happen in 2023, and we managed it.
By the skin of your teeth. When did the samples go? Like the 15th of December?
It was the 15th of December, which was really our last cut-off. And it was just phenomenal to get those into the lab and the lab to actually produce, all the results and send them out within about 3 days. Actually, we fast-tracked all of them because of the urgency before getting away for Christmas. So that is a massive turnaround from 3 weeks, which
I
would
say
normally
typically how
happen.
long does it take? Because they were previously sending them to the States, weren't they?
They were previously sending them to the States, so that could take at least 3 weeks for the results to come back and to get into the hands of the physicians to consult with the patient. So that sort of 2 to 3 week wait is a nightmare.
Well, you've been
anybody's
there,
in the
Toby, haven't you?
fertility journey.
Yeah.
When we did your DNA frag, that took a couple of weeks to come in, didn't it?
Yeah, and the weight's quite a big thing, isn't it? From my experience, that kind of every day it felt worse and worse and worse, and the worry of like, what's this result going to be? And efficiency and time is really crucial in the fertility space anyway. But it just prevents your mind from wandering, doesn't it? So if we can speed things up a little bit and help guys out get a better understanding quicker, then we're in a good place. But it's really exciting to think that we've actually launched that now.
It is. It's absolutely fantastic. I mean, we've set a target for ourselves to report within 10 working days, but to be able to achieve and do fast tracking within that sort of time period, it's all going to be based on capacity and when we receive samples in, of course. But to actually achieve that was just a phenomenal sort of success for us.
How long had it taken to get to that day?
So that has literally taken about 2.5 years of hard graft in terms of setting up all the regulatory compliance, getting all the ISO accreditation, R13485, making sure that we've got all the validation and verification done so that we could submit a technical file to the MHRA. The MHRA had turned that around. We got our CE marking. And it's been an incredible journey with some fantastic support that we've had from some of our consultants and from the staff and all of the people at University of Kent that have supported the whole process, from preclinical sort of trial work and grant applications and getting that through. It's been a phenomenal effort, but to actually go live was like, oh my goodness, we are absolutely there, and it's a fantastic
Huge
opportunity
achievement.
for the future.
Yeah, it's proper cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's so cool, and that's not the only thing we've launched either, is it?
No, not at all. Well, just before we go on, I don't know what you're going for there. I don't know what you're talking about, but we'll
all
come
gonna
back
come
to
out.
it.
It's all
whatever
gonna
it
come
is.
out.
Yeah, it's all gonna come out. But just I think we should do another episode. Just keep your ears out for this one on the DNA frag service. Let's actually go through how it works.
Yeah.
What happens to a guy's sample? You know, because you hand your pot over and you don't know what happens, do you?
Yeah.
Just like, and then a week later, or at the moment 3 weeks later it was, you get a report. It's like, okay, let's actually break it down. Let's talk about how that works. So I think that'd be a really good episode to do.
Yeah, well, and we'll definitely do that. And we've got resources on our website as well, which is there about explaining your DNA fragmentation.
Yep.
So all of that is linked onto the reporting that we send out. So we've done some phenomenal back end work, and it's credit to all the good people that we work with that we'll be able to operate this in collaboration with the largest pathology referral company in certainly in Europe, probably with the Doctors Laboratory, working with some excellent people at the University of Kent, and all the support that we've been able to provide from Logix and testhim to make it come.
And we had
life.
a lot of people asking us last year, when's it starting? When's it starting? How do I get tested? When's it starting? How do I get tested? So we'll answer all those questions. But like I said, it was a soft launch in December. I think we're sort of going quite soft in January, aren't we? But we've got a big conference next week, which will be last month when this goes out. And I think we'll be pushing to get the service available through lots of different clinics and stuff. So
the big push is now working with all the clinics to make sure that patients' samples can be sent through to us and a quick turnaround, so that we can have a look at what the diagnosis is and put them on the right
checked.
path.
Get guys
get them tested
properly,
easily and quickly.
and get them on the right treatment pathway.
What else did we launch last year then? Where were you going with that?
Well, the varicocele scans.
Oh yeah.
Oh gosh, I nearly forgot about that.
To run part and parcel, it's always good to get your nuts checked properly. So we've launched our ultrasound service that we're in partnership with, and we can pretty much go online, book up, and there's lots of sites across the UK that guys can go
42 sites, I think it is. So it's a partnership with Ultrasound Direct that went live. I think it went live October, I want to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a great opportunity for guys, because again, it's kind of. And this ties in with all the inquiries we've had, all the people we speak to all the time. Go to the GP, even to get a semen analysis sometimes is really difficult. So if you're a bit concerned about having a varicocele or a lump or a bump or a cyst or whatever, trying to get that checked even on the NHS is really difficult. So go onto our website, go onto our store, you can buy the test there, and then you book in through you get a specific link, and off you go. You can probably book in almost that same day, if not 2 or 3 days later.
Really efficient,
So quick, easy. You get a full report sent to you afterwards that you can then take on to a urologist, andrologist. They can check, what that all means. I think it's brilliant. Fantastic service. So.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's kind of like we're standardising now the checks for male fertility, aren't we? We're really standardising. We've got all the research. We understand what needs to be checked and what should be looked at to get a good sort of overview of a man's fertility potential. But from when we started testhim as this kind of like idea that we just wanted to help guys out, to now where we're at this point, we're at a point where we can almost give a guy a full suite of examination.
That was always our plan. That was always the aim, was bring it all into one place.
But to think that we're almost there, we've got, we are working on a few other things, and that's obviously gonna, got more news to come in the future. But we're just in a really cool place right now where we can really help guys out, and I feel so proud of the three of us, what we've created.
Amazing. It is amazing.
Yeah.
Just from that common vision, really, to do something better than what is already out there. And
we just need a testhim clinic, I think, don't we? Really,
that's what we need, don't we?
Raising the eyebrows for those people that can't see. Is that possible? I think it could be.
Well, we've got a podcast
to
studio.
be fair,
we
said, let's build our own podcast studio.
We've got this.
There we go. Look, we've done it.
We got it.
Yeah,
we got it.
So
anything's possible.
Absolutely. And on the note of the new podcast studio, we've now got a really good permanent space that we can bring guests along. So if we're always keen to hear patient stories. Stephen Thor did a great great version of that.
Yeah.
And if anyone wants to come on and share their story, we would love to hear it. So please feel free to get in touch and drop us a message if you fancy pop along. We're down near Reading, we're not too far out of London.
Near Reading, just opposite the train station. So it's dead easy to get to if you come in by train or by car. So, but yeah, we'd love to see a few more guests.
Yeah, come and grab a cuppa and have a chat and record a podcast episode with us.
Yeah. What else is coming in 2024?
Well, gosh, there's so much, isn't there? Because we've got so many really great plans, but we are going to have our own food supplement for men called testhim M+.
Epic.
So not only is it a food supplement, but it's a food for special medical purpose. So we've actually gone and got our own product with data that supports its use, clinical use, and we'll be the only company with the status of a food for medicinal special purpose, which defines male fertility and supporting male fertility improvement.
And the box looks awesome because I've worked with the designer to get it done. It's like, wow.
It's looking awesome. So we are launching that right now. Well, by the time the podcast comes out, it will be available.
Available for our store.
That's really cool.
So what does that food for special medical purposes mean? Because it's all over the box. It's all over the leaf.
Because that seems very jargon, doesn't it?
It is a really weird term. Because when we were designing it, it was like the designer was like, "What's that? That just sounds stupid."
Yeah.
What does it mean? But it's got real meaning, hasn't it?
It has. It goes beyond just being a food supplement and all the ingredients that support good, male reproductive health. What it means is that we've submitted a dossier to EFSA, which is one of the food standard agencies, and we can make medical claims based on the product itself due to the fact that we've got proven evidence of improving semen parameters.
Right.
So
it's got clinical evidence that says it does
true
what it
clinical evidence that,
says it does.
that substantiates its use for male fertility. Yeah, and we're the only product in the country, in the UK, with that status.
Yeah, that's cool, isn't it?
That's amazing, isn't
that's
it?
Cool. Yeah,
absolutely bonkers.
But that's the thing, isn't it? When we kind of came up with what we're trying to achieve is doing as best we can the right thing for our patients and guys out there. Right. Like, to get this done right takes a lot of time, a lot of planning, a lot of research, etc. There's lots of work that goes in to get that kind of thing sort of signed off, but it's really important that that's what we do. Yeah. So it's wicked that we're doing that. That's so cool.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see that come to fruition. And obviously the packaging that we've kind of designed and worked on, like, it blows my mind that we've actually designed a packaging for this supplement. Like, it's our baby.
Yeah,
sure call it.
It's our baby
That's
with
a pun.
good clinical evidence.
It's a pun.
True
It's a pun.
clinical
Blue
evidence.
pun. But that's super exciting, isn't it? And it's it just helps us help you out there.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's it. So, but yeah,
and so much more. I'm sure 2024 is gonna be there'll be loads of other stuff. I mean, there was loads of other stuff that came up in 2023 that we didn't have planned.
No.
Tough Mudder, that happened.
Tough Mudder.
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't take part in that. I nearly followed around with a camera. Neither did you.
No, did I?
No.
I was trying not to hurt myself racing, but then ended up heading
the irony.
Actually, because it was for that round, believe it, wasn't it?
No,
or was it
no,
before?
it was
No,
August.
it was before that.
Would have been Donington, I think.
Yeah. Maybe fate would have changed hands if I'd actually committed. That was my karma for not doing it, maybe.
Yeah, but as you said, many conversations, like hitting a wall at 130 mile an hour gets you a lot of attention and has made you a bit of hot property in the paddock, hasn't it?
It has, yeah, it has. And I guess I can talk about this podcast because it's a good opportunity to. I've obviously performed well over the race season, which is great. Like, it's nice to know that I can drive well, and I'm driving better than I have been before. But,
this is him driving better.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Smashed up a Porsche. Yeah.
That's all right.
But no, I've had some really, really mad offers from race teams in the British GT Championship, the British Touring Car Championship. I've had phone calls from teams there, which, like, that to me is quite overwhelming. Way before I even got into motorsport, through my blogs, I talk about my granddad quite a lot. So when I was younger, and I'd be at my grandparents over a weekend or whatever, my mum and dad working, and me and my granddad would watch the British Touring Car Championship, and he usually would record it on the Sunday if I wasn't with him, and then play it together on tape back in the days of tape, the good old days.
You're barely old enough to remember VHS.
Yeah, and yeah, we used to watch them all back. And what we always used to do, we used to like, look at the support series and like find a driver that we'd like, and we'd follow that driver. And then when they made into touring cars, wherever they went, we kind of like supported them onwards. But we always was a huge fan of, you know, of touring cars, Jason Plato and Tim Harvey and some of the greats that have raced through that early era of my kind of memories. And my granddad sadly passed away before I became a racing driver, and I'm sure he'd be very proud if that I've made it.
Yeah.
But underline, I've kept it quite a quiet goal, but I've always kind of had this desire to drive into the British Touring Cars Championship, mostly because of me and my granddad. And wouldn't it be cool to tell that story that I was that guy that we used to watch on video, come through the ranks of the support series and then land on the grid in the British Touring Car Championship. So to get a phone call with a formal offer in a team, like that blew my mind. I literally I had a tear in my eye and I went cold when that phone call was happening. And to the person I was speaking to, I have to be careful what I say here, but to the person I was speaking to about this particular opportunity, they had no idea about how much that may or may not have meant to me. So I feel so determined to try and make that happen. And fingers crossed. I mean, there's still some work to go. The offer's still on the table. By the time this podcast comes out, I might have the drive, I might not. But have the opportunity in the offer is certainly something to be really proud of. And if my granddad's up there looking down on me, hopefully he'll help make that happen. So,
but it would help our campaign so much as well when it like touring cars, just the PR and the exposure that you get,
that it brings. It's just amazing. And I think the Bobble Army would be
the
absolutely
Bobble Army would be wicked,
over the moon with that.
We might have to order some more bobble hats. I think they'll be definitely dished out quite a lot.
I think could be some more marketing on bobble hats.
Yeah, it'd be really cool. But it would be good for the campaign because the demographic that we're trying to reach out to is just the average guy that's going through a difficult time with fertility. And we know from the ratios of the sort of 1 in 6, 1 in 7 couples that are struggling with fertility, the millions of people that come to watch British Touring Car Championship, both on TV or actually at track attendance, we've got a big opportunity to really go all out with a message. I was talking to ITV recently about the prospect of going into the British Touring Car Championship and what that might mean for the campaign. And the people I was talking to there didn't actually realise how big or what the campaign was really about. They understood that I had racing for fertility in the car, but they didn't realise my story as much. So perhaps I've not communicated it as well, or perhaps it's just not been heard as much just yet.
You haven't won as much.
But I haven't won as much. but if we can get to the British Touring Car Championship and get interviews with Louise Goodman and Alan Hyde and all the great people at ITV, like imagine how big the campaign could be, and then how many men can we help? And that's really the most primary factor for us, is just we want to help as many people as we can. And now we're actually in a really good position as testhim, and we're set up ready to go, that we can just crack on with it now, can't we? And it's it'd be so cool. So watch this space.
That's it. And guys can always come and see us in the paddock, can't they? Can have a chat with us, an informal chat, and then guide them from there.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's all about being accessible, isn't it? The TTR family, the Bobble Army that we have. And for those that don't know, we basically have these really, 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 really warm bobble hats that we all wear in the 30-degree heat of summer, with an orange bobble on the top just to stand out in the race paddock. But we've got I think like 400 out there in the world now, out in the world. Cool. We've had a really cool thing actually with one of our big fans in the Bobble Army, who's created a Google Maps of where each bobble hat has been in the world. So if someone shared a picture to the closed Facebook group, he'll upload it onto Google Maps of where it's actually been. So obviously you've claimed the highest point.
I've claimed the altitude record so far.
You're up at Everest Base Camp.
Everest Base Camp.
We've got them as far wide as Australia, throughout America, all through Europe, Dubai. They're all over the place. They've been everywhere. And it's so great to see that little community of people on there. And sharing their little ventures with the bobble hat, but actually the bobble hat thing has become kind of its own sort of story, really, because some of the men that are on there, some have had fertility journeys, but some of them on there are actually just going through difficult times themselves. And it's really great that we've built a really lovely community of people that love motorsport, but are there for one another. And there's been a couple of guys that have had some really, really horrendous health conditions recently. That thankfully they're over the worst of that now and they're in good recovery. But the Bobble Armies kind of collectively helped them out. I had a phone call with one of those guys just before Christmas, and he was saying how grateful he was for the Bubble Army, that all these people were there
Just that support,
supporting him.
Yep.
common interest.
Absolutely. And we talk about mental health a lot, and we don't often talk about the cause of poor mental health, and male factor fertility is certainly one of them, but mental health is a massive topic among men right now. And so it's great that the Racing for Fertility campaigns are really important, but it's great that we're building this other little community where we've just got like-minded people who love motorsport. We're all just normal guys, and we can support one each other, and actually that's really, really special, isn't it?
Yeah. It's
No,
just
great community. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Well, look, I think a good reflection on last year. That this year's going to be absolutely awesome. I can't imagine what we're going to be saying when we're sat here in a year's time.
Imagine that.
Yeah, what did we achieve in 2024? But
Yeah.
thank you to everyone who kind of listens in, all our followers. Please do give us a thumbs up, a share, and a like, and whatever else, and share this with other people. Remember, the portal's out there. Get your free questionnaire done. Get some free advice, healthcare recommendations, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Varicocele checks.
Book your scan.
Yeah.
Yeah, go and get your nuts checked.
Yeah.
And just reach out. We're here, always here to help. People can book consultations with me as well, one-to-one calls with me. I can guide them through their kind of lifestyle, diet, and results.
And referrals.
Yeah.
And referrals.
The right referrals.
Yeah, we can direct you to the right people. So
Right around the country.
Yeah. And thank you everyone for your support on this podcast, because you are the reason why we're doing this podcast. And if you've got anything that you want to suggest for us to talk about, please let us know. Email us, drop us a message on Instagram. We're always friendly, we're always here, and we're all tackling fertility together.
cool. We'll see you next month.
Yeah. Take care, everyone.
All right.
Take care.
Cheers.
Be awesome.
Bye-bye. Am I going to press a button to
Yeah,
finish
press
off?
the button.
Press
Do
the
you want a round of applause?
Hey! Take care, everyone.
Speak soon.